Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to welcome you once again to the compound of the National Elections Commission and to this daily press briefing resumption following the 10th October 2023 general elections. The chairperson of the National Elections Commission is Madam Dewi Etta Brown Lansanan. She will address this conference. Madam Chairperson.
Fellow commissioners, distinguished stakeholders, fellow Liberians, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the headquarters of the National Elections Commission and to the resumption of the Commission's daily press briefings aimed at updating Liberians, stakeholders, and actors about the status of the 2023 presidential runoff election slated for Tuesday, 14 November 2023. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, the National Elections Commission is pleased to inform Liberians and stakeholders that all preparatory activities are on course for the conduct of the presidential runoff election on 14 November 2023. Let me also inform you that electoral materials have been deployed to all 19 magisterial areas in the 15 counties of Liberia. Electoral supervisors and polling staff have begun the deployment of electoral materials to the 5,890 polling places within the 2,080 precincts in preparation for the conduct of the polls from 8 in the morning to 6 p.m. on Tuesday, 14 November 2023. Let me also say that temporary electoral staff have completed brush-off training and have been assigned to their respective polling places, while at the same time the Commission has taken steps to replace staff who did not show up and those who were involved in electoral malpractices in the first round of elections. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, you may recall that the NEC reported in a press release dated 1st November 2023 that 3,320,500 ballot papers arrived in the country on Tuesday, 31st October 2023 from the Republic of Ghana on a chartered flight via the Roberts International Airport. The ballots came along with other electoral materials, including record of the count forms, mock ballots, and tactile ballot guides. The National Elections Commission assures all Liberians and stakeholders that contrary to a dangerous disinformation that markings on certain portion of the ballot could vanish, the ballot papers were printed by a certified security printing press and they remain intact as always. Even after marking them, the ballots will retain the marks made on them by voters during election day. Those marks on the ballots will remain on the ballots throughout the lifespan of the ballots until they are disposed of by the Commission many months after the elections. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, the right to vote is one of the most cherished rights we enjoy as Liberians. I therefore urge all of the 2,471,617 registered voters across the country to turn out at their various polling places to peacefully cast their ballots for their respective candidates on Tuesday, 14 November 2023. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, the Commission has stepped up voter education efforts aimed at increasing informed participation in the presidential runoff election. To this end, and in order to mitigate the issue of high numbers of invalid ballots that characterize the first round of elections, the National Elections Commission deployed permanent staff from headquarters across the country to assist in the voter education efforts with emphasis on how to mark the ballot correctly. Ladies and gentlemen, the adjudication of cases emanating from the 10th October 2023 presidential and legislative elections is ongoing. The National Elections Commission hearing office records show that 50 complaints were received. The status of these cases have been closed either by dismissal, withdrawal, resolution, or abandonment by complainants. The only presidential case filed by Vision of Liberia Transformation Party VOLT was dismissed by the hearing office and the Board of Commissioners. An appeal was announced but was not perfected. Other senatorial and representative election cases are still ongoing. Let me also say that the data management consultants, 2 from ECOWAS and 2 from UNDP, who provided support to the NEC Data Center during the first round of the elections, have returned to Liberia to provide further support to the data center for the runoff election. At this time, the National Elections Commission condemns all violence that have occurred during the campaign period, 24th October to 13 November 2023. The Commission calls on all other stakeholders to condemn such violence and urge Liberians to work towards fostering peaceful coexistence during this electoral period and beyond. With respect to security arrangements for the elections, the Commission continues to work with the Joint Security in finalizing security arrangements for the 14 November 2023 presidential runoff election. Let me use this medium to thank the Ministry of Justice and the security apparatus for providing security to the Commission since the beginning of the electoral process and during the deployment of electoral materials to the field. In closing, the Commission again thanks and assures political leaders, as well as all Liberians, all stakeholders, and electoral actors, that the National Elections Commission remains committed to conducting the 14 November 2023 runoff election in a free, fair, and credible manner, as it has been the hallmark of this institution. I thank you. We'll now take your questions.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. Any questions from the media or concerns?
Thank you. Madam Chair, my name is Gerald Coyne, and I write for Front Page African newspaper. Yes, so during the first round elections, you encountered several challenges. One of them is the ballot papers arriving on time. And how can you assure the Liberians that these ballot papers will all arrive in time so that the elections can be held all over the country at the same time? Secondly, the collaborating political parties, along with LANU and all, they requested the National Elections Commission to carry on a forensic audit of the votes, the October 10 presidential poll. And we have not heard anything from the commissions with regard to the response to them. What is the response of the commission to these political parties? Thank you.
We will say that the last question on a forensic audit, you're referring to invalid ballots, are you, sir?
Yes, so the CPP standard bearer, Mr. Cummings, announced after the election that they requested the NEC to allow them to carry on the forensic audit of the ballot papers, the votes that were counted, everything at their own expense. Yes.
Okay.
The presidential polls.
Thank you very much. We also responded in this same manner as we are here, that the National Elections Commission will conduct a survey to understand why there were those numbers of invalid votes, some 114 plus thousand, and that survey will be shared with everyone. We are in elections mode. Even ourselves cannot open those ballot boxes until at such time the process ends. Your question about the arrival of ballots in time, Are you referring to, in fact, let me ask you, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the ballots, especially in the Southeast, they have the issue.
Okay.
I'm asking, what the juries can give to Liberians that all these ballots are being arrived in time?
We have done everything humanly possible to deploy these ballots and other sensitive and non-sensitive materials to the field in the last 8 days. Most, in fact, all of the magisterial offices have confirmed that the sensitive and non-sensitive materials have reached their offices. What has been happening in the last 2 to 3 days, these materials now are being moved to the 2,080 precincts, then on to the polling places. So we like to believe that we have taken the steps necessary to ensure that all the materials that we are to use on elections day will get to the point before the polls open. But let me say this, Liberia's terrain is a very tough one, as we have experienced in the past, not just the most recent past, but in the far, back, way behind, that it can be a very difficult task to get the materials to some of these places in time for the elections. But what we have done, elections will still go on, even if it means that we have to send it out to another day or another hour. Elections will go on and they will be completed. We, on our own, cannot handle a national problem of inaccessibility, but we do everything. So we got the kennels going, we have porters walking, we have people on motorbikes, and even I was told the last time that even in places in Sino County where you would think that motorbikes are supposed to reach, some of the places were just too challenging. Motorbikes broke down in mud on the rocks. They were left in the water where the water overflowed its banks from the different swamps and what have you. So we're doing our best, but there's remedy for everything. And we will do what we need to do to ensure that Liberians will vote.
Well, thank you. My name is Alex Atolami. I report for the University of Liberia Radio, Lux FM. Well, Madam Chair, there is this information coming from Foya, Lofa County, about pre-marked ballot papers being arrested by some men or citizens there. And those ballot papers were, according to the people reporting the information, were marked in favor of President George Weah. Are you in the know of this information? And if you are in the know, what are you doing about it?
The Commission has not received that information in the official capacity of the Commission. Just how you probably may have heard, I just heard when I was walking in here that something is obtaining in Lofa County, and it has to do, on the one hand, they say it has to do with ballot papers. On the other hand, they say going now. On the other hand, they say it has to do with the final registration roll, the FRR booklets, which of course were given to political parties on pen drives. So we don't know what the story is, but what we can say is that at no time did the National Elections Commission pre-mark any ballot and distributed it anywhere in this country. All of the ballots, which are sealed in plastics, wrapped in cloth, wrapped in Ghana Must Go bag, are positioned in our warehouses throughout this country. We had the opportunity in the last 10 days, and thanks to the vendor for sending our ballots way ahead of schedule. We have deployed these ballots to the 15 counties. They are on their way to the 2,080 precincts, and they will get to the polling places, we pray, in time all across the country. The Commission is committed to ensuring fair play so that the level playing field is created for every candidate in these elections. Anything that spells rumor, we do not engage in rumor. Everything we say is either written. You want to catch us, you catch us on the website. We put it in the newspapers. And if we have challenges, we also come here and we tell you. If we don't come here and tell you, we're on the radio stations. This morning, I was on OKFM. Some of my staff were on ELBC and all around. So we are providing the information. But again, if it comes to us, we'll deal with it.
Madam Chair, Lady Salu Soare, I write for the Analyst newspaper. The southeastern region has been considered an area of ballot stuffing in quite recent time. What your commission is now going to do in this runoff to ensure that there will be no ballot stuffing in the southeastern region?
Firstly, I will speak to your issue of stuffing ballots. At no time has the commission, even here or through its staff, stuffed any ballots. We have not directed anyone to stuff ballots. What we hear that they say, and that they say is on the way to being heard. In other words, those people who are claiming some things have happened, they have the burden of proof. When our hearing officers engage them in a hearing process to find out what their complaints are and to authenticate those hearsays and they says that are coming from the field.
Well, Lami again from Lux Radio. So my first question at this point, one has to do with which finger is going to be marked tomorrow, because we observed that the left thumb or finger that was marked for the October 10th elections, I mean, the ink has not left our finger clearly, and I don't know what information is out there to the voters as to which one of their fingers will be marked on tomorrow.
We are very happy to hear you attest to the strength of the ink, meaning that you're still carrying it on your finger, right? Is that what you said? Oh, then bravo to us. But let me say to you, in these elections now, I'm told, or we are told by the operations section, which is responsible, that it will be this finger. They call it salt and pepper. And I asked the question, why do you call it salt and pepper? They say when you want to taste something, it is this finger that you probably will use. But it's this finger on your right hand. Pointer finger.
Any other question, concern? If not,
Let him go ahead. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Jamarin Gonji Bagante. I'm an international observer from Cameroon. I am a chief of mission. I have one preoccupation. Since we are sending our list to another observer of our member, excuse me for English. Yes, right now we don't have accreditation. Why?
You don't have what, sir?
Accreditation for another member. We were supposed to deploy them since now it's more than, I don't know. Madam, if you can help us to get it, really, then we have to send some of us inside. Yes. Yeah, that is a problem, please. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your concern.
Okay, congratulations for all.
Yes, yeah. And usually this gets run through, sent to our political affairs section, which deals with it. But the commissioner here who has oversight for the political affairs section will talk to you after here. This is a press conference for press people. Yeah, let me say that. Any administrative things we can handle there at our offices. Yeah. So any other question?
Luke still has a concern.
This is the 4:30 lady.
Yes. My last concern for the day. You talk of cases that are still being investigated since the October 10 elections. Does that also include the one from District 2, Maryland County? We're talking about the Speaker of District.
I would not be specific on any case where it's at. I'm saying to you, all of the cases, the complaints we have received, we are hearing them. Thank you very much, and let's talk again tomorrow at 4:30 here.
LBR.com.